Good Monday morning. I think it's still morning. And I trust that you are doing well. I have a few songs that I'm going to finish up and be posting in the next few days. But I had something I wanted to share today. I was invited to go to an event very recently, and it was just at this gorgeous theater that had been just remodeled, and it was just incredible to see its beauty. Well, while I was sitting there in the crowd, thank you for the love. While I was sitting there in the audience, waiting for the performers to come out, I was reminded and taken back in time to a dream that I had a few years ago. And I dreamt that it was the end of time, and that all the Christians had gathered in this huge theater. We were just all looking up at the stage, and the MC came out and said, I'd like to welcome you all here tonight, or this evening, or today, or whatever it was, and said, I have a very special guest to introduce to you. And of course, we all knew it was going to be the Lord. And so we were looking, as well as myself, up at the stage, and I wondered if there'd be bright lights and, music and horns and angels and all of that. And he said, I'd like to introduce you to, and he said, Jesus Christ. And when he said Jesus Christ, I was looking up at the stage, but instead he was pointing out in the crowd. And I thought, wow, he's out with us. He wasn't up on the big stage. And I looked up, and one row in front of me, down at the end, Jesus stood. And he turned around and he looked at the crowd. And it was like we could all read each other's minds. And we were thinking, what do we do? I mean, what would you do? So, well, I was thinking, do we sing praises to him? Do we bow down to him? Do we shout to him? Do we stand in awe? Do you just gaze at him? We didn't know what to do. And he looked, I remember he scanned the crowd left and right, and he put his arms out and he said, come unto me. Oh, wow. And being that I was fairly close, I didn't waste any time, and I made it to him first. I remember I was just hanging on for dear life. And he, just as with myself, he said something to each person as they would come through line. And he told me, he said, you are a lot like me when I was alive on earth. And I remember thinking, there was no similarity. There were no similarities between us. And he said, some things came very easy for you. And I thought, smoking, drinking, cussing, things like that, I don't really have an issue with, don't have a desire to. He said, other things were, a constant struggle. He said, so it was with my life. And, and I'm not saying that Jesus was not perfect. He was. But I also believe that he had to work at this. I mean, can you imagine living your life and being on your guard against sin all of the time, and knowing where your life was headed and the terrible death that you were going to suffer, and yet still love and serve? And I'm sure he laughed and he'd had to laugh at those disciples, some of the things they would say and do. But then I went off to the side, and people were lined up as he would come through. And I don't know, that just came to me. And during this event, this concert, I constantly thought of that dream I'd had, and how Jesus was just with us, and how he just was saying, "Come unto me." And I tell you, we live in an opportunity right now where he is standing before us, and he is saying, "Come unto me." But one day, that door will shut, and that opportunity will close. So I would just love to encourage you to seek the Lord while he may be found. You do not want to miss eternity with the Lord. You don't want to be separated from him, do you? So as I said, I would just like to encourage you to seek the Lord, to get things right with him. My wife and I were just talking, and over this past year, we have lost several good friends who were 50, 60 years old or so. Some maybe a little bit older, but I don't think any of them were expected. And we're not guaranteed tomorrow. So just think about your life. Think about what you're doing. Think about how short your time is here on earth, and how long eternity is. And think of the love of Christ, and what he's done for you, and the way that's been made for you to come unto him and be forgiven of your sins, and have a place in that auditorium where he says, "Come unto me." Thanks for listening. Have a great day. And goodbye from Miss Goldie, the sweetest kitty who ever lived. All right. Take care.